spiritual stuff.
Welcome. This is episode
The
10
world card.
of Spiritual Stuff with your co-host Reaya.
And Chantsy from the production portal. Woo, 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 woo.
We're so excited that this is episode 10. Like we were just talking off air about like how happy we are about us doing this podcast, and it was a little project that it kind of just came into being and it just manifested itself into the world by like clear magic, I want to say. It just happened at the right time and everything aligned, and we are having like so much fun with it.
Yeah. I actually think it's funny as well. Like it's brought us closer together, to be honest, which is one like a bonus. And two, it's just like the way that it's evolved over time. It started out with the moon medicine videos, and then we ended up doing this, and it makes me so happy to do this.
But also I kind of feel like the whole podcast is just keeps taking twists and turns. Like we keep having different ideas and we just keep showing up for it, and these ideas keep being channeled to us about what we need to do or what we need to say. And I love that we're so open to receiving, because I feel like whatever we're being channeled is for the greater good.
Yeah, exactly.
So welcome to episode 10.
Welcome, people. Welcome, completion. Some big energies on way as well. We just did our moon record for the supermoon and the Libra equinox that is coming up. And it was a massive vid. So just watch it, of course. Sorry, I just went a bit quiet and distracted because the Knight of Wands fell out for me, and I think you pulled the Knight of Wands earlier. But anyway, so I think to kick this off, just to keep with tradition, because I love this idea so much, Reaya. We're going to pick from the Wandering Star deck. 3 cards.
Okay. I got 2 jumpers. Should we take the jumpers? Yeah. Ooh. Oh, they're making so much sense. Oh my, I pulled this before.
Oh,
you want me to go first?
Oh, yeah. There's like lots of cards here. Yep, go for it.
These are the 2 that jumped out, which is the 9 of Swords, which is that energy of anxiety, stress, limitation, blockages. It kind of, to me, wait till you see the second card, it is the Ace of Swords, which is change of direction, which will encourage success. So we're moving out of this heavy, chaotic, burdensome kind of energy, and we're starting to recognize who we are, and we're stepping into changes. And then the other card that I pulled was the 10 of Pentacles. Which is I know, isn't that crazy? Which is about like we're just honoring ourselves, and things are coming in. There's abundance, there's love, there's life, there's renewal.
It's amazing.
So this could be around relationships. If we look at this from a relationship standpoint, if this makes sense, you could be worried about things that have happened in the past or how things have been in a relationship. But if you step into changes, or about you change the way you feel about yourself, you will be rewarded. Like what you need will come.
We were just talking about this on the moon medicine video, like just releasing now. We are going to talk about this in more depth during this podcast. But the more that we release and allow whatever it is that needs to come up, things bubble up to bubble out. So whatever it is that's bubbling up, the more that we allow the release of it, it means that we can step more into, the new, we can make space for new things. And it's going to, not to say that we're not going to release. I mean, releasing is a consistent thing because, we've lived our lives for, I've got 40 years worth of stuff, plus there's stuff in my DNA from family lines. Same with Reaya. But we will talk about this. All right. So I got the Knight of Wands to start, which is great. So that's all about flow, fire, intuition. So that's the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands always is an action for sort of think later.
Yeah. I'm getting the message of like clear passage.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, moving forward.
Yeah.
And we're moving forward into the sun.
Wow. I love the sun. I think it's my favorite card.
Yeah, so on this card, so it says light, life, energy. So I mean the sun is like fun, vitality, you know, when we step into summer, we feel really happy, you know, we've got a lot more energy.
It's about loving life.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Which is interesting because this is what we're about to tap into.
Exactly. The third card, I wonder why I got it. I got the Five of Wands, which is competition, debate, and defense. But then I got a clarifier for it on the Ace of Swords. Oh, sorry, I got the Page of Swords. So I mean, anything to do with swords is all about clear communication for me.
Yeah.
So I think that we just need to, instead of being on the defense, maybe we do just need to be honest with people. Not maybe, we do need to be honest in a compassionate way. What were you going to say, Reaya?
Listen, maybe we need to listen to the things that people are saying, because there obviously is some truth that's sitting, especially if we get defensive about something that someone is saying. Obviously, it's something that we're still working on or not understanding in totality yet.
Yeah. Could be something that we're mirroring to them.
Yep.
And so the more that we dig deeper and do our inner work, you know, and get clear,
diligence.
Our due diligence on ourselves, due diligence, then the more that we can, you know, create more pathways for ourselves. And be grateful. That's coming up a lot for me at the minute.
Me too.
Yeah, be grateful.
I'm not kidding. Oh my God.
Be grateful. Be grateful. Because I am doing a lot of sitting at the minute. We'd spoken about this in the moon the moon medicine video. But yeah, there's a lot of, right now it's a lot of healings going on. So
there's so much healing. And that's something, like yesterday I finished my client sessions and I was so grateful. You know, I was so grateful for everything that I have, everything that I've created, even for my husband, for my family, for, you know, everything that's in my world. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. And the thing that I understood yesterday was I want to stop complaining about the little things and lean into what's really there and be grateful. Because if I complain or I feel, I'm moving into lack.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to move out of lack and I want to move into abundance. And the way we move into abundance is by creating it by gratitude.
Yeah.
By always thinking about the things that bring us joy and being like, thank you. Little mini thank yous. Exactly.
Little mini thank yous are what help the universe to go, okay, thank you so much for that. Thank you for your thank you. Here's a little bit more. Here's a little bit more. And just on the top of the deck, I had balance. So I just wanted
that's so funny. I just pulled my cards and that came out. I just put it back in, but I just, you know, when you open the deck like that and that came out and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we are in Libra season. Yeah. So, you know, it is all about releasing and finding that balance for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. Big one.
So this is something that I wanted to touch on because it's about us like holding on to energy or vibration or trauma or negativity. Like it has such a major impact, not only on our body, but our mind and our experience. Like we can hold on to things and we have a choice. We always have a choice, right?
Yeah.
We can become a victim of our circumstances, or we hold on to the things that we don't want to hold on to, because, and this is the message that I got, is because we start to create comfort in the uncomfortable. And sometimes that victimization or victimhood makes us feel safe in a space that we don't know how to explore. And then we end up holding on to it and we kind of suffocate it a little bit. We keep pushing it down because we don't want to feel the feelings. And then we get attached to not feeling good.
Yeah.
And then we start to create that vibration around us.
Yeah.
And I want to say, until we really sit with ourselves and we ask ourselves some hard questions, things don't arise.
Yeah.
You know, I was saying to you before off air, like, you know, a lot of time clients come and they want to remind me that they're really, really good and they're really positive and they're really happy. And I said, that's amazing that you are that way. But at the same time, you're here because there's things that you're pushing under, and those things are ready to come up. And
Yeah.
that's what we bring to the surface. And when you acknowledge something, it sets you free.
Oh my God. Oh my
You're
God.
no longer entwined to what it is, and your whole life can change in that moment. And that's what sometimes people are afraid of.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Like, sorry, did you have more to say on that? Like, I think that I love releasing. Like, I know that it, as a kind of, how do you explain this? I know that a lot of people tend to fear it and maybe run from it, or we think that, yeah, you know, we have to be positive all the time. Yes, look, positivity is great. You know, being in those high vibrations and allowing and making other people happy is beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But how do we get to that place? And the only way that we're going to get to those high vibrations is by actually doing the work and clearing our own energy. You know, I'd say that things come up for me at least twice a month, let's say, you know, where I do, I don't even know, I don't even realize, because I think we've spoken about this before. A lot of it's caught up in our unconscious minds because, you know, we're protecting ourselves from whatever the trauma is. So when it comes up, you're like, oh, hello, what is this? And, you know, then you've got to prod a little bit more. It's like, okay, I acknowledge it.
Yeah.
You know, where has this come from?
Yeah.
And then you kind of take a third party perspective on it. So you take an eagle eye perspective, and we call that the meta perspective.
Yeah.
And then you look at it from other people's perspectives. You know, if someone else is involved, if you were sitting in their shoes, you know, how would you have acted in that way? Can you understand from their point of view why they did react in that way, or why they did carry that out? You know, if there are other people involved doing the same thing. So then you can get an understanding of perspective, and then you're able to release whatever it is that needs to be released, and then you can move on from it. Sometimes, you know, those traumas might be patterns. So again, it's just about asking yourself the right question. You know, has this happened before? Has this come up before?
And that's the thing, right? We keep recreating patterns until we change something. And that's the thing, you know, people will say, like, why do I keep finding the same relationships? Why do I get the same people? Because there's something that you're not acknowledging within yourself, or it's something that you haven't yet shifted out of. Like, because we will repeat patterns until a lesson has been learned.
Yeah.
And with situations, like with whatever comes up, know that whenever you sit in it, no matter how hard it is to sit in it, it will liberate you.
Yeah.
You know, and like, even the last few weeks, there's been a lot going on behind the scenes for me. And I really had to, I'm losing my voice, embody it, and to really lean into what I was feeling. And listening to what I needed at that time was crucial for my healing. And listening to that and doing all the things that my soul needed me to do in order to free myself from the situations or from the feelings now has led me into this place where I'm reconnected into my light, and I can feel that within my vibration.
Yeah.
And I know that how I felt the previous weeks, and how heavy and what I was carrying. And I knew I needed to be in it.
Yeah.
But I also knew that this is only temporary. This is a temporary state of being, and I'm allowed to embody it so that I can be free from it.
Yeah.
And I didn't try to run away from it. I just sat in it.
Yeah.
So I think when we sit in something, it will create this way for us to empower ourselves.
Yeah.
And when we empower ourselves, we'll be able to let go of anything, and we'll be able to create peace.
Yeah. And I think you'd really pinpointed this just before there, Reaya, in terms of having this trauma sitting within our body, or having, you know, these ill feelings sitting within our bodies. they do tend to manifest within us, and they do manifest within our energy, you're right. And they also manifest in disease, dis-ease.
Yeah.
So, the more that we do release those feelings, it's okay. Like, no, everyone goes through it. It's just part of life. But the moment we do release, we can, you feel such a massive weight off your shoulders, right, Reaya? Like
A
a massive
massive.
weight. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy because when you are feeling heavy and when you are going something, your whole energy, well, for me, my whole energy changes. I feel like it's like I have a blanket over me.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around with a blanket.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
how I feel. And I can't see properly. I don't know. There's just this energy. And then all of a sudden that veil lifts.
Yeah.
And then I have the clarity, but maybe, the blanket or the veil needs to come on to go into the darkness and to be in the darkness in totality, because that gives us the moment to break free. Something I wanted to say was, a lot of people, they say, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's blocking me. If you are saying that, you're not sitting with it.
Yeah.
Or you're not spending enough time, or you're trying to fast track yourself out of something. Yeah.
They're probably in their mind.
Well, 100%, because energetically they want to be out of something, and they don't really want to sit in it. They want to get to the positive, right?
Yeah.
But if something keeps coming and you're not in that positive state of mind, that means you've got to sit longer with whatever it is. Journal, write, start to meditate, see what comes up, but you've got to sit with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't just say, like, I don't know what it is, and but there's something wrong. It's like, no. Our body and our energy holds all the answers.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Like, and don't get me wrong, we do have to, to get to this point now. I never used to listen to my body before. I used to intuitively take myself to, like, Reaya, for energetic clearing and healing. But I never really used to listen because I was so caught up in the rat race, and I was so caught up in being busy. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
In busyness. And now I feel it, like I go, okay, oh, that's in my solar plexus right now. So what is that actually? Okay, so is that something to do with my self-worth? Is that something to do with my confidence? Is it something to do with my power? Okay, then I sit with it, and then I ask myself questions. It's all about asking yourself questions and taking that meta perspective. It's the more, like you mentioned before, Reaya, the more you kind of sit in that victimhood, or, why me, or, I've got nothing to fix. And I'm not saying, I don't want anyone to take this wrong, because we've all been there. We've all been there.
We've all been in denial.
We've all been in denial, but
yeah,
just from a perspective of getting out of that place, getting out of the denial and actually prodding yourself deeper is such a beautiful space to be in. And it means that you get to know yourself even more.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And the thing is, if you keep showing up for something, it will keep showing up for you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
100%.
if you don't know what it is, keep showing up and keep asking yourself, and listen, really, really listen. Like the other day, I had a decision to make, and I was like, my whole body, it was saying no. And I was like, my whole body is telling me. I could feel the energy saying no. It was like, and I was like, okay, I'm listening to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And how much better do you feel? As uncomfortable as it is to tell someone maybe no, or whatever the decision was, do you know what I mean? How much better do you feel once you've kind of made that decision and then you've stuck with your laurels?
I knew that it was the right decision, and I felt like I was really honoring myself. And so then I could really lean into what I needed in a bigger capacity, because my body was telling me what I needed. And just being in that space for myself and holding space for myself. It's like, if I had said yes, I would have been letting myself down.
Yeah.
And then there could be energy like resentment or I don't know, whatever, negative energy or whatever, because I don't want to do something.
Exactly. And a lot of people get into these relationships like this as well, right?
Yes.
Which is just, and
Yes.
this is where we do get ourselves in trouble because we don't listen.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we do get that tower moment where something happens. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay. You know, I've recently, and Reaya and I chatted off air, I had recently discovered my own little something where where the people that I was aligning myself with had you know, don't get me wrong, they'd helped my journey along the way. But when we do kind of change, and when we do work on ourselves, we do change the energy, you know. And God knows what energy I was in beforehand, but you know, that suited me well at the time. And then once you kind of get to that tower moment, you know, when you're in that energy, and you're still, when you're saying no to what you know, or when you're saying yes to something that you know is not right for you,
Yeah.
then something happens, and then it's like, well, you have to answer the call and you have to do it. But you know, if I had answered the call from the start, not been in my logical brain, because I was like, this is what's right for me,
Yeah.
you know, then I wouldn't have been in that. But I do think that these are lessons learned, and because we are all on a different path, we kind of do have to come to those conclusions at our time.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. But also, like, the medicine is within. Like, everything that we need to know and feel and to be exists within us.
Exactly.
And attuning to our own healing and our own way of being and our own timing creates empowerment.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And sometimes when we let go of our burdens, we create this energy of lightness.
Yeah.
And we can start to see things in a different way, and we start to be gentler with us because we're not self-punishing because we're hiding something within us. We are completely liberated in our souls, and we're free to be more of our highest expression of who we are.
That's right.
And when we decide, like, whatever has happened in the past for us is no longer going to be in our present, it changes our future.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and we get to decide how long we want to hold on to things for. You know, if I look back in my past and I look at the things that I held on to, I'm like, oh my God, why? But it's something that we do. We feel like we need to hold it. We need to be punished by it for some reason, because even though we may not have done the wrong thing, maybe someone else had done the wrong thing by us, but we still hold on to that energy. And it's crazy. And what we have to do is go and take our power back.
Yes. Yeah. Because
and be like, I'm empowering myself. I don't want someone else to hold that energy over me.
Exactly.
And so what I want to say is, we get to choose how long we need to hold on to something, how long we need to process something, how long we need to integrate, and how long we need to heal. We get to choose. So remember, any time that you're feeling really heavy or really low, every moment is a time to choose. Do I really want to hold on to this?
Yeah.
Is holding on to this working for me?
Can I just say,
if I let it go, let it go,
right.
what changes can I bring in to set myself free? And how am I going to feel once I move forward from this? And I think stepping through this little micro process, doing those few little journal prompts or questions, you'll be able to sit in something different. You'll be able to understand something from a different point of view.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I just say that when we are going through the motion of processing, that we are doing it from an internally stable place, and that we're not doing it from an erratic place and a mental, Raya's doing this.
Yeah.
Raya's touching her head.
I'm like a doll in here. Like, we get in our head about
that's
something.
it. Yeah. Because the more that we kind of tune into our internal compass and get balance first, you know, then we can start asking those questions from the right place. And then we can start to take that meta position and go, oh, okay, yeah, right. Yeah, okay, great. This is a great lesson learned. Let's move on from this,
Yeah. Thank you for the lesson.
Thank you for the lesson. And what a beautiful lesson. I mean, without lessons along the way, like if we were all perfect, what a boring world that would be.
Yeah.
We would never be able to really learn from anything.
Yeah.
We'd never evolve.
Also, I just want to say something. Once we're finished with the healing from a traumatic situation or from a past, don't speak of it again.
Yeah.
Do not continually speak of what happened or how it was or how things were, because what you're doing is bringing that energy into this present moment, and then you're reliving it again and again and again. So there has to be a moment where you go,
let it go.
I'm done with it.
Yeah. Thank you for the lesson.
I'm actually done. And then when you say that, it starts you move away from it. And those thoughts and those feelings that reconnected or connected you into it start to dissolve. And then you release all your attachments, and then you can't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Or if you do think about it, you feel so much peace. You don't burst into tears. You don't get emotional because you've forgiven yourself at a soul level in some capacity.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing, is the forgiveness. We need to forgive ourselves for the things that have happened or that haven't happened.
And we forgive other people too.
Be free. Yeah. The biggest person we need to forgive, I feel, is always ourselves, because we decide what we're taking on from someone or what we're not taking on from someone.
Yeah.
And I think we touched on it last time about people's words and energies. Like, they have such a huge impact. Like, my husband and I are watching this show at the moment on Netflix, and we start talking like the show. It's set in Hackney, and it's about gangs and stuff. So we're saying, like, in it, like, do you want dinner? In it. And it's funny, but like, we're listening to that, and that's become a part of our vibration. So it's like, it's so important what you watch and what you pay attention to, what you're soaking in. It's crazy. I mean, it's quite funny.
But this is
it's 11:11.
11:11. This is the thing with the unconscious mind. Like, if the unconscious mind does pick up stuff from the ages 0 to 7, you're picking up from your senses, everything from your senses, and it's getting put into little boxes. But then once age 8 hits, because you've got so many emotions and so many things that you kind of are experiencing day to day, those boxes kind of get all meshed up, and so all those thoughts are like, aren't, I don't know, they're not I don't know, they're not put into neat little boxes, they're kind of just everywhere in your unconscious mind. So then when things come up, when things bubble up, that is our time to go, okay, this has come up for a reason. It's either been mirrored in someone else for a reason. And I feel like that is your higher self, because your higher self and your spirit guides, which is your deep knowing, which is your higher self, wanting you to release those things at specific times along your path.
And those trigger points will bring up an emotion.
If
you are triggered by something and you're holding on to something internally, you will be triggered by an emotion or a reaction. There's an unspoken language, and if we start paying attention and create awareness of that unspoken language, we can heal ourselves on such a fast and collective way.
Exactly. It's funny, like, and that can be, doesn't have to be sadness. It can be stomping our feet and getting angry at something, or getting angry at someone. It's like, whoa, where did that come from? Where did that come from?
And you can also, it's interesting because some people, and it's funny, we hold this vibration, but say, for example, there's 2 different people, and 2 different people say exactly the same sentence to me, and one person creates this feeling of like anger or disappointment, and this other person creates peace. So it's like, what's the energy around that person with those words? What is those meaning? What does that mean for you?
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely. But this is funny that you brought this up, because I was watching an Eckhart Tolle. There's always a clip, but I was I was watching an Eckhart Tolle clip, and a guy had just finished his business degree or his management degree in the US.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, how do we make conscious partnerships in this world, you know, where it's not just about money, profitability. And Eckhart had said, you know, it's an energy exchange. So when the energy, and you do feel this when you actually do a lot of releasing, once you do actually get more attuned to yourself, you feel other people's energy. Like Reaya had just said, you know, one person can say something to you and you can feel at ease. The other person can say the exact same thing and it just triggers you. So pay attention to that, because that is when we're in alignment. That is alignment for you.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It is
It's funny.
We are funny human beings.
We're funny.
We're so funny. I'm sure like there's other planets and other beings on other planets that are watching us. And sometimes I get that sense of like when I'm doing something, like if I'm going to Pilates or I'm pushing a shopping trolley, I often think how robotic and like, because we're all doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like there's people watching us going, they're all crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like we all drive in the same lane. And I don't know, there's these moments that I have these like little flashes that like there's other life on other planets that are watching us, like literally going, they're crazy.
Yeah, well, it's like you're all divinity incarnate and you don't even know your own powers. It's like,
and we all just kind of become sheep and follow the herd because we don't want to stand outside of that, because we need to be accepted and we need to be loved. But
be an
we
edge
can
walker.
love and accept ourselves and step outside and become more of who we are.
That's it.
Yeah.
And when we become more of who we are, then we empower other people and inspire other people to do very much the same. So then they can wake up from being a sheep.
As long as it's in our integrity, in our truth.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Should we pick one more card to wrap things up? Yeah. I do have to say.
That was a big one. Huh?
You did appear in my dream last night. You were having a peek at.
Sneak peek in your life. What were you up to?
I actually can't remember what your part of the dream was. I can remember the other parts because I was doing something.
I was having the craziest dream last night, like this morning actually. I was dreaming like of these massive fish, right?
Yeah.
And like of octopus and these beautiful fish, and they would like suck them to the wall and they became ornaments. It was so crazy. And I woke up and told my husband, and he was like, and tell me you're not crazy. It was like I don't know if they were real, but it kind of felt like it looked like a real fish, but it could have been like glass or something like that. It was like in a museum, and they were like on the wall, so the whole fish would come out of the wall. It was like it was so crazy. I don't know why I'm dreaming about fish.
Well, you're having a peekaboo in my dream about and you're dreaming about fish. I swear you were there as like a supervisor or something. Like you were just there to have a peekaboo.
Just watching.
I'm trying to sort a situation out right now.
You're probably like, what is she doing with those fish? She needs a little bit of, Reaya needs a little bit of help right now.
Let's sort her out. Are we going to pick three? Can we pick three? Because the first card that I picked was actually about, it actually aligns to what we had just spoken about in terms of being in alignment and people's energies.
Yeah.
So, and it's the shadow self as well. So the devil, desire, obsession, fear, shadow. And it's all about, and then I got to clarify for that as well, which is a page of wands. So it's just watching any communication that comes to you, just making sure that it is really in alignment with you before saying yes.
They're so fitting for what we're talking about today. I got the King of
Oh,
Cups.
he's
and
in
this
flow,
card,
baby.
yeah, which is about warm-hearted, intuitive, empathic. This is about really knowing that we can channel the energy and the wisdom from within.
Yeah.
And I got the Three of Wands, which is it's time to look ahead.
Beautiful.
So go within, and then you can move ahead with ease.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I do have to say, the King of Pentacles keeps on appearing at the top of the deck for some reason.
I just got the Knight of Pentacles.
Yeah. So we have
There's
the
a
10 of
pentacle.
Pentacles before, the King of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles.
By the way, I just wanted to say I did put a post up on my Instagram, which 0 replies came through. But I love how everyone loves like sharing on this platform. Anyway, maybe it's me.
No, it's not. It's everybody.
Let me investigate this. What I was going to say is, if anyone has a question for us that they would like us to kind of unwrap or unravel for them, or if you would like us to talk about a specific topic, we'd love to hear from you. So people write in hello@reaya.com.au, hello@reaya.com.au. That's REAYA. Send us a message. Like, I'd love to hear from you. We can even just pull you a card. Like, if you want a card, just put your name on. We'll do something really special for you. So, like, get amongst it.
And in terms of special, like it will be like a message. Like that, I'm just trying to make sure the expectations are lived up to right now.
Got it. Got it. Good idea.
I mean? But we're happy to, ask and receive. Like, this is a podcast that Reaya wanted to do a couple of years back. So, like, please do get in touch, and maybe we can do a little dance.
Stream.
What was that?
Let's get this happening.
Yeah, exactly. All right, reach out, guys. And on that note, are we going to wrap things up?
Ciao. Namaste.
Ciao. Namaste.